Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. 39 topics to cover, so let's get going. First up, 40 shot in Chicago over the weekend. 40. Hello, Black America, Black Lives Matter, Black Caucus. What's going down? Black athletes, got anything to say? 40 were shot. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is closing the gap in South Carolina against Joe Biden, one of the early states. In fact, this is funny, the Dems want South Carolina to be first to help old Joe out. Wouldn't it be hysterical if RFK Jr. beat him there? Trump is up 23% in Iowa. But they stay in the race. They stay in that race. Trump says Menendez ought to resign, the senator from New Jersey with the gold bars and the cash, helping out Egyptians. You know what I say about that? He ought to resign, but he won't. How many others, this is funny. Trump says all the Democratic senators ought to resign. Hillary the clown. Hillary goes, now, just remember, she created, paid for the fake dossier that started the whole Russian collusion Mueller investigation. And she's got the nerve to say Trump's going to have Russian collusion again. I mean, she is shameless. Shameless. Will she take a walk in the woods and never come back? All right, screenwriters. They have settled their lawsuit tentatively with the studios, the Screenwriters Guild. All these very talented people. I could be a screenwriter. All right, Jimmy the Carter, 99th birthday, attended the Peanut Festival with his wife, Rosalind. Pretty cool. 1.8 million acres of Alabama land is owned by foreign investors. What the hell's going on? Take it away. A gator ate this woman. You know what was wild? She was homeless. Walking around, they had blood standing there, gator half beaten by. Oh, it's disgusting. Down in Florida, of course. And then, of course, the family. When these things happen, the family always goes, oh. What were you doing with your freaking mom when she was homeless? Jeez, now a Gatorator. Representative Paul Gosar thinks Miley ought to receive the death penalty. I agree. For his treason. Representative Jeff Duncan, what a phony South Carolinian. He's a family man. He's a family man. Traditional family values. He's been hooked up for a while with a consultant. Wife is now filed for divorce. Sorry, Jeffrey. So much for that family man. Aspartame, they think it gives kids autism and other birth defects from it's like grandparents, like from your grandparents. You know what? Donald Trump, Elon Musk are two people that apparently live on Diet Coke. Diet drinks taste like crap. The one that I tried to take for a while that I could stomach a little bit was Mountain Dew. Diet drinks taste like chemicals. That's because it is chemicals. You shouldn't eat it. Auburn University, 200 Christians were baptized, or they're Christians now. In Auburn, a lot of these atheist groups are up in arms. By golly, what are you doing baptizing kids? Washington Post did a poll. And Trump is up 10% head-to-head against Joe Biden. And the Democrats are saying this is an outlier. Yeah, Washington Post is not a friend of Donald Trump, owned by Jeff Bezos. All right, Joe, good old Joe Biden. Now listen, man, I'm not Mr. Rap guy, okay? But I know it's LL Cool J. Not LLJ Cole screwed it up that he just said, boy. Oh, Joe. Unbelievable. LLJ Cool. He changed his name. All right, capitalism is dead. This is pretty cool or interesting. I've been saying this forever, but basically pointing out that we now no longer have capitalism. We've got the oligarchs, the corporate billionaires, and we really do. Government backs everything. Corporate welfare reigns. It's sad. Elon Musk says AI is scary as hell, and he says We need to do something before robot. And I never thought about this, Josh Wentz, until he said this. He goes, when a robot walking down the street kills somebody, it's going to be interesting. And I said, wow, that happens in movies. We're there. Hell, they're putting robots in stadiums.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around a freaking robot, especially a robot that they try to look like a human. Don't want to be around him. All right, McCarthy says the Dems are easier to work with in the budget than his own caucus. Imagine that, McCarthy, because you're a Democrat.
That's right.
Navarro calls McElhaney, Hutchinson, and the rest of them pimp ladies. In other words, they weren't really part of the Trump team. Pimp ladies. John Cusack, a real liberal, says the elites, the billionaire elites, turned their back, and the Democratic Party turned their back on the working man. Cusack's after you. Bet you he's for Kennedy. Anti-human trafficking leader right here is a thief. She stole money from the fund for a Corvette, weight loss. She kind of looks like Monica Lewinsky, and other little charming things. 9 minutes, the first 9 minutes of the Meet the Press interview that Trump did have been erased. We're erased. It's time for Ron DeSantis to quit. There's people talking in Florida that he's about ready to lose all of his clout in Florida. That everybody that was DeSantis is now moving over to Trump. He's about ready to collapse completely. Dumbass. I've been telling him for months, haven't I, Josh? Yeah. Back out, endorse Trump, save yourself. $1 for bail for this man allegedly raping a 16-year-old. $1 bail. This Arizona woman's mugshot is both sad and funny. She apparently shot and killed her husband, kind of waited on him while he slept. I can't tell. Is that like paint, like she's going to war, or is that like being beat up?
The underline for the football.
Yeah, I can't tell. Like, did she blacken herself up to go to war and kill her husband, or is it bruised up? If it's bruised up, it's sad. But look at that. I mean, there's a little bit of humor here.
She got war paint on.
Look at her. You know, she's got war paint on her. Jaron Vandersloot, this scumbag, said that he and his father got a boat and took care of Natalie Holloway. If that's the case, is his dad still alive? If his dad's still alive, he just threw him under the bus. It was an email. Menendez told his wife not to send emails and texts and Googled how much a kilo of gold was. You know what a good defense attorney is going to say? Well, people Google stuff all the time. It'll be interesting. All right. God, Josh, do you want anybody to see your Google searches?
Hell no.
I don't want anybody to see my Google searches either. Ukraine aid has been exempted from a government shutdown. What? Yep. Ukraine aid is essential? Unfreaking believable. Cassidy Hutchinson, she's going around telling everybody groped her. First she's saying Mike Lindell was walking around the White House unescorted. Like, really? He's not a freaking terrorist. And then she was talking Giuliani groped her. Everybody groped her. Have you seen her? I think she's lying about all the groping. She seems to want to be groped. Proud of being groped. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, a very brave man from Stanford who was pushing back on the COVID vaccine's veracity, got shut down, pushed back, censored, all that crap. He's won his lawsuit against the government. Well, he's won the motion to dismiss against the United States government. Gulf of Mexico. Good old Joe Biden wants there be less oil drilling out in the old Gulf. Why? Because he wants energy dependence. The RNC is up in the ante for the third debate. The third debate, you got to get at least 4%, Josh Wentz. Yeah. Wow. 4%. And have like 40,000 unique donors or something like that. All right, Joe Scarborough says that Kamala Harris is just mistreated because she's a black woman. No, Kamala Harris is mistreated. Well, she's not mistreated. She's dealt with fairly because she's a moron. Yeah. To quote Stork, Menendez has resigned the Foreign Relations Committee. And come to find out, he's only been married to this chick for 3 years. She's a big, broad-looking woman, big old bosoms. You know where he met her? IHOP. That's where you find your U.S. Senator wives. IHOP. Nothing against IHOP. It's my kind of place, my kind of people. but she got him in trouble. All right, Trump on Mitch, blasting the hell out of Mitch. Of course, have you heard Mitch say anything bad about Joe Biden these days? No. Megyn Kelly says Joe Biden is a terrible human being, just based upon Hunter Biden. I agree with that. RFK Jr. is contemplating running for a third party. By the way, this is what they do to you, Josh Woods. They mistreat you, they mistreat you, they mistreat you. Then they don't want you to run third party and spoil it for them. If I could turn the clock back, I would have ran as a third party candidate for governor of the state of Kentucky. I mean, screw them. Because they mistreat you.
Right.
And then they don't want you to do it. It's like, screw them. 107-year-old woman says the key to being happy, don't worry about anything. Sounds fair to me. And a slap on the wrist. The kids involved in running over the former Las Vegas police chief, killed him on purpose. He's out there on a bicycle. They ran over on purpose. Says he only expects a slap on the wrist. Well, why wouldn't he?
Right.
He watches the news these days. This is a Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Go Bengals against the Rams.